Full Court Press with Greta Van Susteren starts this weekend on KVLY. Our parent company, Gray Television, is launching the new weekly syndicated Sunday political show, and it will air right here on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Greta, of course, is Gray's chief national political analyst, and she joins us now to tell us more about this show. Greta, thank you so much for joining us. You obviously have a wealth of experience in this field, but can you tell us what's going to make this show different?
Well, first of all, Lisa, I hope it's a compliment to the other Sunday morning shows, which tend to focus on what happened in Washington and about legislation in Washington and guests in Washington. Look, this is Gray TV syndication, which means that I have the whole expanse of the Gray TV network. That's 143 stations in about 93 markets, so that now I have the opportunity to do something, go outside the Beltway, reach into communities, find out what the real problems are in the communities, let people give his or her opinion and voice on issues, and I can actually put a higher spotlight on what matters in Fargo or Appleton, Wisconsin, where I am, or whatever hometown of anyone across the country. So it allows me to have a spotlight and to give a voice to people in communities that may not necessarily be lacking, but because other shows are focusing more on the national legislation or the national issues. Just to give you an example, this week, to give you an idea how far I'm reaching it, when I was at cable, I had about 5 bureaus: New York, Chicago, LA, the big cities. And this week on the show, I'm going to have correspondents from Reno, Nevada, Cleveland, Ohio, Waco, Texas, and so you can see sort of how we're reaching out across the country to find out the issues. Then I have a candidate for president, Tulsi Gabbard, and find out not what she thinks about these issues, but what would she do? Big difference between think and do. And then we have on Coach Tony Dungy, because he's an incredible man. He's talked to so many people over the years, and he's every day in the community. And I want to find out from him what he sees are the problems, what he sees as the issues, because you don't need to be a politician to know what the issues are. And I want people with all different ideas, all different solutions to the problem. So I think the short answer is that what it's going to do is include everybody more in the discussion than they might otherwise get to be included.
I like that, and I find it interesting too, because maybe not everyone wants to watch another political show, although there is a huge appetite for it. It seems like you're kind of going to change it up a little bit so that it might really be interesting to everyone, even if they think they've had enough political talk.
Well, here's the secret, Lisa. So I looked at the landscape when I left national news, and here's what I learned. If you look at the polls, people trust local news. They don't trust so much national news or cable. They really trust you and everybody else in local news. So I thought, okay, well, why not? Why shouldn't I get them up on the air and sort of more of a national platform? Find out, take the Waco, Texas correspondent who's really well trusted. Why not find out from him or from her about issues around the country? So, I'm trying to steal some of the trust that you've managed to earn over the years and others have earned, to really put the focus back on trust, facts, so that people can make up their own mind. And enough of the snark. Enough of people being told what to think. People can think for themselves, and I want to use the huge Gray Media local TV network stations across the country to accomplish that.
That is definitely unique. I love that idea. Now, also, just with the political climate right now, there is still a need for this, and this kind of gives you a unique access to different local markets, obviously. But do you think there's a need, especially with all of the political talk and leading up to 2020, this is really the right time to start this show?
Well, leading up to 2020 couldn't be a better time. In fact, I deliberately wanted to start it now. The wind is behind our sails because people are interested in politics, and and that appetite is going to grow over the course of the next 14 or 15 months. So, I deliberately wanted to start it now rather than some other time when politics may not be on the horizon for people.
And before you go, too, there's going to be a unique social media element to this show as well. Can you touch on that?
Always. Well, there's going to be an after show. The show's only a half an hour. I'm used to doing an hour, but sometime I hope to grow it to an hour. But we're going to have an after show. We call it Overtime, taking the sports theme, and that probably more casual. You'll hear more discussion. So if you wanted to hear more, from the show, you can go there. Plus, the fact is, I was the first anchor to have a blog back in about 2003, Greta Wire, and I'm very interactive. I've even written a book on social media. Is the one thing I don't like about TV is that we talk at a camera, and it's such a one-way conversation. What social media does and what the social media impact does, it allows me to be part of the discussion, to interact and to talk to people. So, I want to have a social media impact in the show because I don't want to just talk at some camera. I want to hear from people, and I want to respond. I want to talk, and so that's I'm hoping to achieve.
That's proof you really do care. You want to hear back from the people. It's great stuff. Can't wait to watch it. Greta, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Lisa.
And remember, you can watch Full Court Press with Greta Van Susteren Sunday mornings at 6:30 on KVLY.